The Sacramento Kings have found their secret weapon, as when this team desperately needed more firepower out there on the wings, the forward position, Issac Jones has come in and stepped up in that absence. And there are a few moves, there are a few changes that are coming to this Kings rotation, which some I think are very positive, have a lot of Kings fans excited, but a couple are still head scratching. But nonetheless, the Kings just got a massive win over the Houston Rockets, who've been red hot over the course of the season. And frankly, there are a lot of things to get excited about, as things have been pretty dire for Sacramento in recent weeks. So we'll break down the changes that have been made, the jump we've seen from Issac Jones, and frankly, what the state of the team is in right now, because one win isn't going to change everything for the squad, but there are a lot of things to get excited about. Bring back that little level of hope, that we always have out here rooting for this Kings team. So lots of stuff to break down. But before we do, folks, if you guys are a part of the 83% of our viewers that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, and you want daily Sacramento Kings coverage, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content we're putting out. Covering all the latest games, reports, trade rumors, whatever the heck it is, regarding this Sacramento Kings team. But let's dive into the madness, because again, this is just a feel good game for Sacramento. You have guys stepping up, you have changes, novelty to the lineup, you have some fights, you have everything that you could ask for out here in one of these games. And frankly, we have to start off with a guy that's been playing well as of late. We've been raving about him here on the channel in recent weeks, but really tonight feels like it was a statement game. But Issac Jones came out off the bench, and while the plus minus isn't crazy, in 18 minutes of action, went 5 of 5 from the field. You're not knocking down free throws, but 12 points, 2 blocks, 1 turnover this game, 2 rebounds. And this might not be like an overwhelming stat line. This might not be something where you're like, oh, Ben, this guy is game-changing, future superstar, whatever the heck it is, right? But him just being an effective scorer, his athleticism is really something that surprised me. Just watching him from the eye test, go out there and have an impact on the game. But just having a guy that could come out there off the bench at a position of need for Sacramento is so crucial right now. And especially the game where Jay Crowder, who's brought in a signing that has been starting recent games, but wasn't much of an impact player. Again, close to a Tony Snell stat line there for Jay Crowder, but having Issac Jones be able to come in, step up, and really have an impact out there off the bench for this team is really game-changing, because night in, night out, we know what we're getting from Domas. We know what we're getting from DeMar DeRozan. We know what we're getting from De'Aaron Fox. And tonight, especially from DeMar, wasn't the perfect game. It wasn't the crazy high upside, lucrative numbers we've seen from some of these top 3 guys, night in, night out. But again, they're going to provide their stats. And now Malik Monk, we'll get into him after, now as a starter, for this Kings team, is obviously also going to be an impact player. But especially where he's moved from the bench to the starting unit, you just need more firepower, both ends of the floor, for the off the bench for this Kings team, especially at that forward spot. And Issac Jones just proven he can be efficient, he can be effective, not play too much outside of his role, but really just have an impact out there for the squad. I mean, it is a guy that is making that push to get that full out contract. Not be the G League anymore, because he's crucial and tangible to this Kings rotation. So he's not going to be a guy right now, at least, that's going to take that superstar jump, be up there with the level of star caliber players of our Foxes and things like that. But he can be a star player at his role if he can continue to be consistent, continue to have an impact player, and continue to play with the energy, athleticism that we've seen him play with in recent weeks. So very exciting stuff there from Issac Jones. But it wasn't just him, and probably the biggest thing that had an impact on this Kings team winning this game was the thing that a lot of people have been calling for to get fixed for this Kings roster, and it's the 3-point shooting. But not really from, your classics in terms of Malik Monk, who can, it's inconsistent times, not from De'Aaron Fox, who did knock down his threes tonight, which is good. Domas and DeMar didn't make their threes, but 2 guys that really have to be knocking down long-range shots, in the role positions for Sacramento to be able to compete, to be able to win these games, are Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter. And both of them have been abysmal from the 3-point line in recent weeks. And now they have come out, and last night, we just see the impact. And it wasn't like, hey, they need to go 6 for 7 for the 3-point line or anything unrealistic. Just Kevin Huerter going 3 for 7 from the 3-point line. Keegan Murray going 3 for 5. It's not crazy, unrealistic, unquestionable statistics, efficiency out there from the behind the arc, but just having them as a different dimension, to have some scores out there from space to the floor, open up the court for guys, the star players on this Kings roster, that is game-changing for this team. It is game-changing for the squad. And one could argue that, hey, the lineup changes, with Malik Monk now in the starting lineup, and Kevin Huerter being the sort of focal point wing piece out there off the bench of this team, that will boost his confidence. And I don't know, I think Kevin Huerter is a good shooter, but it's just been, there's some sort of rut going on. So whatever it is, whatever hypothetical, whatever sort of mental thing that you can make that shifts Kevin Huerter's ability to knock down 3-point shots, to knock down these buckets, then Mike Brown's gotta try it. You gotta try it. And it's coming at the expense because, again, I like Malik Monk in the starting unit. I've seen some memes like this team was gaslit by Mike Brown for years now at this point to say, hey, Malik Monk is better off the bench and stuff. But his chemistry with De'Aaron Fox is really something to behold. It's something to witness. And frankly, he's clearly, and he ends games, right? He's always in those closing lineups for Sacramento. So it's not like he was disrespected coming off the bench. He was always valued, was always recognized. But just having him start off the game, get more minutes, get more opportunities with De'Aaron Fox, with that lineup, I mean, it looks really good. It looks really good. So the firepower of the offense looked awesome tonight with Malik Monk out there in the starting unit. It affects Kevin Huerter. But again, you can't have all things perfect. You can't have it all good because Mike Brown, and in recent games, it's frustrated me. I don't know why. I don't know what the heck Keon Ellis has done to really frustrate, to get on the bad side of Mike Brown. But he has been so good, especially at the defense side of the season. He's been an impact player out there shooting threes and stuff. And the fact that he can't get any run. He can't get any run in these recent outings, in these recent games. Not even the garbage time. He's not even out there down the stretch. What are we doing here with Keon Ellis? Because he's been such an impact player. He's been such a positive for this Kings team to just bench him, to put him in the doghouse, to not do anything like that. It confuses me. It's a confusing decision, but again, the Kings did win this game 111-120 to the Houston Rockets. The Rockets do have a lot of talented guys. Not the Dylan Brooks. He was trying to get people fired up with this one. We had some courtside shenanigans as well with kiss cams and all that. So again, a fun W for Sacramento, for the Kings, beating a Houston Rockets team that has been very solid, very good. But again, I still want Keon Ellis to get some run. I don't think I've talked about the big three really in this game, but De'Aaron Fox, 22. I mentioned them briefly. I ran through their stats, but I think it's a given now at this point that the top guys out here on Sacramento are going to be playing well. They're going to do their thing, for this team. And frankly, because again, things were looking pretty dire there, over recent weeks in terms of how the Kings have been playing and stuff. But even with all the struggles, even with everything that's going on with the squad right now, the reality is the Western Conference is still wide open. The Kings, yes, they're 12th in the West right now, but a game and a half back of the playing picture. And the Kings have higher aspirations in the playing picture. Let's be real. Let's be honest and come into the season. But the Lakers and the Nuggets, I think both lost. The Lakers and the Warriors, I believe, lost last night. So again, two teams that Kings fans have that deep rivalry with, but they're only 3 games back of the Warriors, 3 games back of the Clippers, of the Suns, in that playing picture, 3.5 games of the Clippers, right? It's not that unattainable. It's not that we are in December. We are 4 days into December. So, and only 4 games back. This is very recoverable season if things just work out. Obviously, the questions and the stress and the anxiety is coming from the team just hasn't looked good out there on the basketball court, not necessarily the record-wise, because things are very attainable to turn things around. So, again, this team can really bounce things back. They can make these right adjustments, get Keon Ellis back in the lineup, have Issac Jones continue to really be an impact player for the squad. I mean, there's a lot of upside for this Kings team, but it just has to be executed right. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. You guys have the best thing as far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.